Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and this is we're back to Box Office Bust Month, and this is a 2002 American buddy cop action comedy directed by Tom Day. The film stars Robert De Niro and Eddie Murphy in the lead roles, alongside Rene Russo, William Shatner, Pedro Damian, and De Niro's real life daughter, Drana De Niro. Yeah, I guess that's the girl that is with Rene Russo. The film was released in the U.S. March 15, 2002. The film received generally negative reviews. I don't know why. I don't think it's that bad. Critics lamenting its lackluster humor and poor attempt to satirize the buddy cop genre. I don't think it's that bad, guys. This did not deserve to flop. It got 2 Razzie nominations for Murphy and Worst Screen Couple. Showtime. I'm going to say this right now. This is an underrated movie. This is not terrible. Razzies, you don't know what you're talking about. The only Razzie-worthy performance in this movie is the main villain, which I'll get to. He's the worst part of the movie. He's like not intimidating at all. And there's one line he says that I have no idea what he said, but we'll get to that. You know why this movie bombed? Because it came out a few months after 9/11. Yeah, because September 11th, then you had October, November, December, January, March. Yeah, like 5 months later. So people were not ready to see buildings getting destroyed and shootouts and violence. They were just so sensitive. It wasn't until Spider-Man came out that year that it was like, oh, okay, so it's lighthearted. You had to, because after 9/11, movies could not be dark. People didn't want to see that. It was just too soon, and that's why this movie flopped. It's not because it's a bad movie. I've seen way worse. And how long is the movie? 90 minutes. It's not 2.5 hours. See, you don't need a 2.5 hours. It's not a studio mandate. A studio mandate is when they cut a movie that doesn't need to be cut. Half of the movies last year needed to be cut. They did not need to be 2.5 hours. Indiana Jones and John Wick 4 and Mission Impossible and all these other movies. You didn't need them to be that long. They don't. This movie's 95 minutes with the end credits, and there's a funny blooper reel at the end. And it's two actual cops playing these actors, these characters in a buddy cop show. It's interesting to me. Yeah, 21 Jump Street is better, and 22 Jump Street, because they did the meta commentary with an R rating. This movie could have been better if it was an R rating, because it really could have sold it more. But it works. The plot's simple. It's got great action sequences, especially for the no CGI in the movie, which is greatly appreciated after a decade filled with it. This one and the 2010s, like a decade and a half. And like I said, it's funny and witty. I like the 2 leads. I like Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro. They have good chemistry. I don't care what the critics say. And yeah, they're the best part of the movie. Joy Bryan has a cameo in it. You have several cameos. You have Merlin Santana, who passed away after this, so rest in peace, Merlin. You have Rachel Harris as a teacher. She's in like one scene. Alex Bornstein is a casting director. She has a cameo. You have Kadeem Hardison in a small role. Juden Freelander, I liked him. He was Julio. He was the camera guy. I liked him in the movie. You have Nestor Serrano, who's in the beginning of the film. You have Mos Def as Lazy Boy. Frankie R. Faison as Captain Winship. You have, like I said, Robert De Niro's daughter as Annie. And then you have the villain. If there's one thing that sucked in this movie hard, it's the villain, played by Pedro Damian. I don't know what he is. What is he? He's a Mexican actor. Yeah, not a good actor. There's one scene at the end where he says a line. I'm not kidding. I would play it, but I don't want to get a copyright infringement. He says, "Slide the guns." I'm like, are you speaking German? What is that accent? Slide the guns. I'm like, I have no idea what he said. I didn't put the subtitles. I should have. This is why you do not hire someone foreign to play a villain and they're not intimidating. I'm sorry, the accent, I don't know where it went. First he sounds Spanish and then he sounds German. It didn't make any sense. It was one of the stupidest scenes in the movie. That and the club scene, which they did better in Bad Boys 3. But the rest of the movie was fine. The scene with Eddie Murphy with the black guy, that's a really good scene. And just see that scene again, Josh, and tell me you don't feel like a bit empowered. Like there's a guy in prison who rats out who the villain is, and it works. It's just 2 people talking. It's not a cartoon. Like, it's not Tracy Morgan that in a way worse movie, Cop Out, where he's hitting a guy. He's assaulting a guy in an interrogation room. That's not funny. That's mean spirited. It's just too much. Like, he's overbearing. At least Eddie Murphy's fun in the movie. He's funny. He's smiling. He's not phoning it in. Him and De Niro, they're polar opposites, but they work together well. I guess that's what happens when you get two New York actors to be together. And I don't get the consensus. It says Showtime starts out as a promising satire of the buddy cop genre. Unfortunately, it ends up becoming the type of movie it's satirizing. It's not just a bunch of references, guys. It has a plot. They don't just reenact scenes from other movies or shows. No, they reference it and then they move on. Like T.J. Hooker and was Starsky and Hutch and all that. I get it. And I like the humor. I think it's there's some witty dialogue here. Like, when Robert De Niro's on camera and he says, "Open your heart lights." That was a nice line. That was something original that we don't get anymore. Josh is like, comedy's dead because they just do the same jokes. Again, when they try, it could be really funny. Look at The Bad Guys. That was animated. That was funny. Even the last Bad Boys movie was hilarious, because Will Smith and Martin Lawrence made that work. Hopefully that's back in Bad Boys 4 and Axel Foley on Netflix later this year. I'm looking forward to those because I want to laugh. I want to have a smile on my face. I'm tired of humor. Everybody takes everything offensive. Oh my God, that's racist. Oh my God, that's sexist. Oh my God, this is. I'm like, again, guys, it's a movie. Get over yourselves. Take a joke every now and then. Stop being a little wallflower, being afraid of everything and being scared of a joke. It's a joke. If you don't get it, fine. But don't be afraid of jokes. That's what a comedy is supposed to do. It's supposed to make fun of things, not be PC and we can't offend these kind of people. No. If the next Axel Foley movie makes fun of SJWs, I would laugh my head off. You know why? Because they deserve the ridicule. After they think girl boss women are funny and interesting, they're not. There's nothing like that here. The women in the movie, they're side characters, but they work and they fit the bill. It's mostly about Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro. They're good in the film. They have good chemistry. I don't care what the critics say. They really think that they're, they really think that they needed to be like Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte in 48 Hours. No, it's not that, but it's not as bad as like Cop Out or Chips or even like Baywatch or something like that. It actually has satire that worked. And it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's short, to the point, good action, good stunt work. It's got some lines that made me laugh. Eddie Murphy is trying. Robert De Niro plays a tough guy really well. That's what he's been doing for most of his career. He's done a way worse movie with Rene Russo, Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. That was horrendous. Compared to this movie is Shakespeare. But it's fun. Watch it. It's on Tubi for free, so you can watch it there. And I recommend it. I don't think it's as bad as the critics say. It didn't deserve to flop. This is way better than a lot of comedies that came out last year, where it's the same jokes and it's not funny. It's just, let's make fun of everything that's political now. Things that are not funny, things that are not to be made fun of. There's certain topics you don't make jokes about. But anyway, I like the movie. I think it's underrated. Just like with Mod Squad, I don't get why it flopped. This one guess is because it was after 9/11. They released it in March of 2002. It was way too soon to see something with bang, 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 bang. No, nobody was watching that. You know what they saw after 9/11? Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Spider-Man. That's it. Things that were much lighter, that were not as gun heavy and, 9/11-ish. And the movie doesn't take place in New York. It's in, I think, LA, right? Let me see. Yeah, LAPD. It's fine. They had to do it at a different location because they saw what happened and they were like, no, we got to make sure that this is as far away from New York as possible. But it's got two New York actors that do really well. And it's funny and it has good action, and I think it's severely underrated. Watch it for yourself and give your own opinion. Don't let other people guide it for you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys next time.